Oh, looky there. Hi, Terry. How you doing? Been behaving yourself? Oh, just doing a little live here this afternoon. I guess it is this afternoon, isn't it? I think it's about noon. It's not afternoon at your house. Oh, you're driving? You been out working or are you gigging? Yep, it's 11:57 here. So you still got an hour to go before it's afternoon. Just got done rehab today. I think I'm gonna have to use my inhaler here a little bit. Try not to use it too much, but it is about time to take a dose. They upped my routine time today, so I could really tell it too. But I'll tell you, it's really helping. Just being in there with these wonderful rehab nurses. They're awesome. I tell you, I couldn't have landed in a better place. They've really improved my quality of life for sure. I'm doing a lot better in my mind, coping with this stuff, and of course not going to do much for the quantity. That damage is done, but it sure has made a big difference in my frame of mind. Playing Roblox says hi. Playing Roblox says, I'm sorry for you. Well, yeah, I get it. Thank you for your kind words. We humans are really our worst enemies. Don't smoke. I smoked for 45 years, and of course I worked in a lot of hazardous work environments as a young man too, but I'm sure them cigarettes didn't do me any good. So don't smoke, and if you smoke, try to stop. I'm 6 years smoke free. It's you ask the Almighty for strength and His help, and He'll give it to you. He gave me a lot of strength and took care of me over my life up to this point, and so if you need help stopping smoking, just look above. Ask him for the strength. He'll give it to you. I know He'd give it to me. So I'm enrolled in this pulmonary rehab program here at Cass Regional Medical Center in Missouri, in Harrisonville, Missouri. Great program. Sarah and Abby. Sarah's had some surgery on her foot, so she hasn't been there for a week or so. She's rehabbing herself right now. So Abby went to working nights. Wonderful young ladies taking over. Christine, love you, darling. Um, awesome young lady. She got to kind of keep after me though. I get to exercise my jaw muscles a little too much, so she has to she has to keep on me to get my routine done, and because you're allotted a certain amount of time. So I told her I was going to have to start a little bit earlier because they increased my routine time, and it's kind of cutting into my visiting. So um, today, Bree, she's a heart rehab nurse, was in helping Christine, and Bree was the enforcer. Christine sicked her on me. I'm just kidding, Bree. They're great. They're great ladies. I tell you, I am so fortunate. The Almighty has His hand on me. Has led me here. And my pulmonary doctor, Dr. Van Dyne, referred me to this program. Best thing ever has ever happened to me as of late. Here we go. Alexa R218 I1, I don't know, something like that. R218, I think it's an I. She says, I'm new. My name is Alexa. Well, hi, Alexa. Welcome in. Thanks for coming and hanging out for a little while. Listen to old Hillbilly ramble on here on YouTube. I told a lot of my folks I do a rehab update periodically. Let them know how everything's going. It's going great. Of course, like I say, there's no cure for COPD. You can only stop doing the bad things that contributed to it, and manage what you got left. So anyway, just kind of sitting here, kind of recouping, a little out of breath, but doing pretty good. Well, of course, I'm always out of breath, but the only time I'm not out of breath is when I'm laying down or chilling out on the couch. And so anyway, I was just getting ready to head home. So I thought I'd hit the button, and I was kind of sitting here chilling a little bit before I get ready to roll. But kind of cloudy here today. Been a little rainy here past few days. Great for the garden. Miss Mobo's been up in the garden prepping beds. She loves her new knees. It's made all the difference in the world for her. Of course, I'm going to have a little trouble. I can't hardly keep up with her. Walked up the other day, carried the weed eater up and the pruners, and I had an event. I've learned that they call them exacerbations, and so you know, I have problem with physical activity. It's kind of rough, but I got my inhaler. My pulmonary doctor. Um, I can't go anywhere without it, and so she makes sure to keep my prescription renewed so I can. And I try not to use it more than I should, but I probably do use it a little bit more than I probably ought to. But that's what it's for. Um, but I've learned it a new breathing technique, which is really it's really helped me recover from these exacerbations, or it helps with the severity of them. Um, and so that's one of the, if nothing else from the rehab program, this pursed lip breathing technique has been a game changer for me, and I owe that all to the great rehab nurses in the pulmonary rehab program at Cass Regional Medical Center. Um, Almighty sure had his hand on me when he sent me here. That got me here. Yeah, that's for sure. Um, so I'm just sitting here. I hope maybe Theo is watching. Theo is a young man. He lives in the UAE, and he sent me a little message today, kind of let me know that he's okay. Of course, you know they're suffering some of the wrath over there of a terrorist regime, and we've got a great president, and that's trying to keep us all safe. Wish a lot of these liberals would get over themselves. Get over yourselves, liberals. Best president we've ever had. The greatest president. We put up with these terrorists over there for decades. We never had a president that would stand up to them. Well, we got one now, and y'all need to get on the train. Support him. Because he sure didn't have to be here. He doesn't even take a salary. You know, he loves his country. He loves he loves the American people, and he's doing everything that he can to keep us safe. And of course, you got the Trump derangement syndrome people that hadn't done nothing for the past 4 years, but now all of a sudden they got all the answers. Well, you believe what you want to believe. I can't, you know, we're all individuals. We all got our own opinions. I'm not going to try to change your mind. Here's Peyton Thor. Peyton Thor says, "Hi, I'm a big fan of you. Well, thanks, Peyton. Thanks for coming in and hanging out for a little bit. Just doing an update on how the pulmonary rehab is going. Got a lot of great rehab nurses taking really good care of me and teaching me a lot of good things. Peyton Thor says, "Don't forget, God loves you." Yes, ma'am. The Almighty is, He's love. He sure is. I gotta kind of have one of these little candies because this medicine I'm on drives me out terrible bad. And looky who's here. Carol Burton. Carol says hi. Hello, everyone. Hi, Carol. How are you doing, darling? So I'm sitting here in the hospital parking lot, getting ready to head for the house. They've got a great pulmonary rehab program here at Cass Regional Medical Center in Harrisonville, Missouri, and they've really helped me. They really helped me. I can't even put it into words what they've done for me. It's incredible. Peyton Thor says, "Do you have faith in God? Because I do. I'm a believer, Peyton." Yes, I know where I'm going, darling. I don't worry about, it's kind of rough not being able to breathe, but the Almighty's got me here, and He's with me every day, and He knows the deal. He knows our story from beginning to end. And I used to question it a lot back in the day after I lost my father as a young child, and I was pretty angry young man after that for a long time, and I questioned. The book says everything happens for a reason. Well, kind of hard to tell a young boy what reason there is to take his father away from him when he's just getting to the age to, do lots of stuff with him. But I'll see him again. He was a believer, a hard-working man, great family man. Deacon in the church. Yeah, I had a lot of trouble with losing him. It was pretty difficult. But it took me a long time to understand that everything does happen for a reason. And we aren't meant to question it. We do because we're humans. That's what humans do. We question it, but you see his good works, and I know I have. He's saved me from myself several times, and several means a bunch. Yeah, I done back in the day. I think I'd done about everything I could to undo his good works, and he saved me from myself every time. Every time. That's a true statement. Wasn't nothing I did. That was all on the Almighty. And I don't know why He saved me. I guess we don't understand because our mission ain't done. When he makes the call, then our mission's done. But up until then, we do them two things. He whittled it all down to just two things: believe and love one another. They're back in the day. There was hundreds of laws, and the humans were messed up big time. So the Almighty sent Moses up on the hill, and Moses come down with 10 things, just 10 things for us to do. Well, humans still having trouble with those 10 things. They couldn't do it. So he broke it down to two things, just two things for us to do, like I say. That's believe and love one another. All the rest of it's him. Not nothing that we humans do. Short gamer clips. Good to see you. Glad you came in. Short gamer clip says God is just a way to cope with the wrong you have done and to ease the thought of death. With there being so many different religions explaining God in so many different ways. Yep, that's a true statement there. Short gamer clips. Short gamer clip says, been waiting for someone to convince me otherwise, as death is very scary without a belief system. Yeah, well, I don't worry about that. Short gamer clips, I did. When this COPD started coming on me really, really strong, I worry about it a little bit, but up to that point, the Almighty had been there and, like I say, saved me from myself several times. So I know eventually this COPD's going to get me. I have a terrible time breathing. But he has his hand on me. So I don't worry about it much. Oh, here's another new one. Heavy Man 217 says, what religion explains the immaculately grown beard? Cue the angels. Ha in harmony. Oh, well. Oh, Heavy Man, you made me smile. Give me a little laugh there. Well, I'm a Christian, I was raised Baptist. Short gamer clip says, praise the beard. Oh, y'all are great. I appreciate you. That's a pretty good one. Of course, lots of folks, they like that no beard stuff, I guess, but I just always had one. So there's that. It's the religion of mobo. So don't really have an answer, a definitive answer to that. Oh, y'all are great. I appreciate you coming in here. Maybe Carol Burton can chime in on that. What do you think, Carol? Terry's driving, so she she can't really chime in. She's a gig worker. She does uh, she's a door dasher and she does a lot of catering. I don't know if that's through DoorDash or what, but and she's a uh, she does blood testing for corporations um, that put on health clinics for their employees, and Terry draws blood for the in those events. I'm not sure. I know there's a name for it. I've heard her say it before. Um, Heavy Man sends a smiley emoji and a heart. Love you back, brother. uh, Heavy Man's 217 says, I respect them. I'm not built to handle the tickles, sadly. oh, that's a Heavy Man. You're giving me a grin. I appreciate you. Heavy Man 217 says she sounds like a real doer and lifesaver. Some heroes don't wear capes. Yes, Terry's one of those people, and so is Carol Burton. You know, Carol Burton takes good care of me here on my channel. Um, I don't have a lot of silliness. You know, a lot of folks has a lot of trouble with a lot of silliness on their channels, but I'm real lucky. I don't have a lot of that, and Carol, she wouldn't put up with it anyway. So I'm really safe here on the channel. Here's a new one. Said, hey, it's Jeffrey. Double knot. How old are you, OG? Well, you know, I say I'm 70 years old, Jeffrey. You know, old hillbillies, they round up. Now, actually, I'm 69 years old. And I got about, 9 more months to go to the true 70. But, like I say, old hillbillies round up. So I like nice round numbers. So I'm going to say I'm 70 years old. Jeffrey says, God bless you, man. Well, God bless you, Jeffrey. Thanks for coming in here and hanging out. I just got out of pulmonary rehab group. I got a really good group of nurses and a lot of great classmates. You know, I'm still whole. I still got all my pieces and parts. There's several of these folks that they're missing parts of their lungs, and they've had open heart surgeries, and you know, I kind of puts things all in perspective. And they're great people. Working really hard. We're all working really hard to help ourselves. And because we won't be in this program forever. Sarah says that pulmonary rehab should be longer. It's a 36 session, twice a week program. And she says pulmonary rehab's a lot different. And so what they're trying to prepare us for when we don't come back here twice a week. I'm doing some light exercises. They're mainly sitting exercises. And I got one that I stand up and stretch my thigh muscles and calf muscles. I do a head tilt. I do a arm, circle arms, and a shoulder stretch, shoulder move. A chest bump to keep keep you stretched out your chest. Keep those things stretched, and so I do those as much as I can. Like I say, I'm terribly short of breath. If I'm not sitting, I'm a one. I'm short of breath all the time, and even talking, it is. And I like to talk. That's love to visit, but it makes it kind of hard to do that. Let's see. Heavy Man says, well, God brought you a good moderator, senior lead for Microsoft AI development to ensure that further, and brought me a wonderful soul to learn from and listen to speedy recovery. Hearts to speedy recovery on pulmonary rehab. Well, like I say, Heavy, there's no cure for COPD. The damage is done. I've got a chest full of scar tissue and nodules. I have done I do CT scans. Now the last two, I had a nodule that was growing. They were kind of concerned about it. So the last two CTs have been stable. No further growth. So I won't have another CT for a year. Great news. There it is, Almighty at work. He's got his hand on me. I've been having some rib and breastbone pain. I told my primary care doctor I had a physical, my yearly physical. All my blood work came back normal. No surprises, no red flags. But I've been diagnosed with coronary artery disease for a long time. I hadn't had anything, any heart examinations for a long time, probably over 20 years. They found some, I was taking a nerve medication that had some phantom muscle pain issues, and I was having this chest pain. And I told my doctor back then about it, and well, he freaked out. I was in a cardio scan office pretty much the next day, and they found some buildup in an artery, a descending artery. It wasn't any of the main arteries, and of course they can't tell you whether it's a buildup, it's an accumulation, or a hardening. When your arteries harden, they narrow also. So they sent me to a cardiologist. This has been a long time ago. And the cardiologist wanted to put me on a medication. They called it an ACE inhibitor. And so I went back to my primary care doctor after, to talk about the results of all these tests. And he said, "Oh, you don't need an ACE inhibitor." And I'll tell you, you get so many conflicting opinions. So anyway, I don't have that doctor anymore. That's a long time ago. Um, there's a whole story behind that, and but anyway, uh, what led me through all this coronary stuff? Uh, short short gamer clip says, "Are your medical issues from bad habits or just genetics?" Well, short gamer, it is bad habits. I smoked for 45 years. I've been smoke free for six years, smoke free. You never say you stop or you quit. You never say you quit, because it's always there in the back of your mind when be out walking in a parking lot, and a lot of folks, a lot of places you can't smoke inside anymore. So folks goes out to their cars, and they smoke, and it might be a shopping center parking lot, or even here at the hospital, you know, um, and I'll get a whiff of it, and I'll it's like but it don't make the Almighty give me the strength to get past that desire, that you know that trigger. You smell something, it triggers memories and stuff. And so he gives me the strength to get past those triggers. I'm not a book beater. I don't have a congregation. A lot of churches, they pass around that plate. That's what that's their deal. The book says, as long as you have the Almighty and Jesus in your heart, Jesus is your Lord and Savior. Almighty, He gave the ultimate sacrifice, and so we know that story. But I don't beat the book. I believe. I'm a believer. I studied with the Jehovah's Witness for a year and a half. That after the loss of my father, I was in Sunday school every day, every Sunday, every week, religiously. I hadn't been exposed to the Word as an adult until the Jehovah's Witnesses came to my door, and we had some conversation about it, and it turns out that they teach in the Bible. All their teachings are all biblical. They don't make up no opinions on their own. It's all comes straight from the book. And I learned a lot. But Jehovah's Witnesses, they want you to call the Almighty Jehovah. And the reason being is because back in the day, before interpretation, Jehovah was in the Bible over like 400 or 500 times. There a lot. And then when they redid it, or some dude rewrote it, or however they did it, and they took Jehovah out of the Bible and replaced it with God. Well, the problem with that is that when you pray, and you pray to God, the Almighty don't know if you're praying to Him or not, because Satan thinks he's God too. So in the Lord's Prayer it says, "Hallowed be Thy name." Well, the Almighty, the Jewish The Hebrew name is Yahweh. That's what the Hebrew, the Jewish people, pray to Yahweh. And the English word for Yahweh is Jehovah. So when the Jehovah's Witnesses pray, they pray to Jehovah, because that the Almighty knows then that you're praying to Him, and not to Satan, because Satan thinks he's God. You know, that's in the book. Goodness, I'm falling behind here. Heavy Man says, for blood flow and back pain, have you considered inversion therapy? Think teeter hang up commercials. Yeah. No, I haven't done any of that kind of exercise, Heavy Man. It's not really. It's pretty much all lung. And like I say, I got sidetracked there. Don't let me forget to go back to Jehovah. My primary care doctor, when I told her about this rib pain I was having, and I hadn't been to had any heart examinations, she sent me to get a echocardiogram and a abdominal aorta scan. And well, I'll tell you what, they really work you over. Good Lord. So anyway, because I was kind of worried about this heaving, these exacerbations of COPD might have caused some damage to my heart. But all the CT scans shows my heart size is normal, no enlarged heart. The echocardiogram says my flow is good. The valves are clean. I do have some accumulation in some of my arteries, which is common for old people. And my abdominal aorta is good and strong. No aneurysms, no anything like that in it. So I'm really pretty healthy. Lots of blessings. Like I say, the Almighty has His hand on me. So Heavy Man says, God bless you, my uncle. God bless. My uncle could never quit, and the decline lasted 3 to 5 months, and he was 1/8 his weight. Yeah, I tell you, COPD it's pretty brutal on some folks. There's one little gentleman, I don't know if it's COPD or exactly what. He's pretty narrow. I keep telling him, come on down home, Ms. Mobo, put some meat on his bones. But he's got a really sweet wife and everything. I think it's kind of health related for him. Short Gamer says, yeah, I smoked for 15 years, still addicted to nicotine, using the pouches now, extremely difficult to quit. Short Gamer, I get it. I do. I could have never quit by myself. I'm not that strong. I'm just an old weak human. And there's a story behind it. But I prayed. I'll give you the quick story. My brother-in-law had lung cancer. They chemoed him, they irradiated him. And they burned him up. He had developed diverticulitis, and he just wasted away. He lost all his hair. Well, he couldn't keep Ms. Mobo from seeing him. That was Miss Mobo's brother. He's my brother-in-law. I still miss him terribly bad. He's a great hunting buddy. We hunted everywhere. We floated everywhere. Great outdoorsman. Um, anyway, he's in so much pain, and he wouldn't let me come see him because he was pretty bad. Miss Mobo told me, he was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. And so the last time I talked to him, I asked him, I said, well, can I come over and see you? And he said, no. He said, I don't want you coming over. I said, well, I get it. I understand. I wish you would. It doesn't matter. But it was, that was his wishes. So I prayed. I asked Almighty to take his pain away and to give me the strength to stop smoking. Now, he smoked too, but he also had a fall and he broke some ribs. And I think that might have led to this issue, the beginning of this issue. And he had fluid on his lung. They put a lung tube in him, and it never really worked really well. And it just, it got in his bloodstream, and they started finding it in his brain and in other places on his body. Well, I prayed. 2 days later, he went home, and I never touched another cigarette. That's 6 years ago. That's a true story. That just shows you the power that the Almighty has. And all you got to do is ask him, and he'll give it to you. He gives me strength every day and he sends me to great people that are helping me with my breathing. So, short gamer, it's tough. I get it. I understand. I really do. Heavy Man says, the Bible rewrites teach you a lot when you dig into the original version and see the edits. Glad you said the proper term for the devil, Satan. The fallen angel, Satan. Samuel. Yes. And he was the Almighty's favorite angel. He was a great musician. And he felt like, he was more important than the Father. So, and here we are. We see his evil works every day. He's very busy. Very busy. So anyway, the Jehovah's Witnesses, a great guy, Dennis. We studied Dennis Walton. What a wonderful man. And we would study every Thursday for hours. And I learned a lot. Stuff that my father I would have learned. And I appreciate him to this day. But what happened was, they want you to call him Jehovah. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't call my Creator by his name. I know he wants us to. He says it in his prayer. Hallowed be thy name. He wants us to call him Jehovah. But I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. So that's why I call him the Almighty. Father God. Almighty God. So he knows when I'm praying to him that I'm praying to him and not Satan. Because that's how Satan Satan feels about himself. So anyway, that's that story. I always thank, and Dennis is always in my prayers. I hated that I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. And then I started dreaming, having dreams about my father. You know, I told him, I said that would be like me calling my father by his name. I said, I can't call my father by his name. I couldn't do it. And so I started having dreams about my father. And I was having trouble sleeping. And so I told Dennis, I said, Dennis, you know, I can't even put into words how much I appreciate what you've done for me. And but I'm gonna have to stop doing this, because I know you want me, and the elders want me to call the Almighty Jehovah, and I'm just not going to be able to do it. And I don't want to put that on you. And so he stopped coming. But I to this day, I thank him in my prayers every day for helping me learn the book. It's tell you what, you know, they say, well, you read a chapter and every day, and you can read the whole Bible in a short time. But it gives me a headache. I can't. It's just so deep that I can't read it. It just overwhelms this old weak human. But I know he has his hand on me every day, and I see the result of it. You know, this being here in the pulmonary rehab program is just another example of the Almighty in His good works. So there's that. Heavy Man says, important to know the enemy as well as ourselves. Yeah, Heavy Man, that's a true statement. It really is. Heavy Man says, short gamer, try using a straw for the oral fixation. It really helps. And going out to inhale in natural pedicure or fresh rainfall, after fresh rainfall. Well, I just say ask the Almighty for strength. Now you ain't going to just get over it, and I'm going to tell you what, you're going to want to get that pouch. You surely are. It just didn't. You know, I stopped. Right. You know, I stopped, but it didn't mean I just didn't still have the desire, and I still have it. Like I say, when I smell that smell, I have some kin that smokes, and they say, oh, I can go outside. I said, no, you're perfectly welcome to smoke in here. It just doesn't. I said, it smells good, actually. But, you know, I just don't have, it smells good, but I don't have the desire anymore because the Almighty gives me that strength. And he gives it to me every day. Every day. So, Heavy Man says, I'm a firm believer in not doing chemo. My parents did some treatments and are in remission, but it has made everything else worse. And I believe the weakening from the treatments allowed regression. Well, you know, as humans, we want to live. And lots of humans will do anything possible. And if they're being led by their doctors, let me turn straight on. You know, people they trust. And that's what happened with my brother-in-law. He trusted them. And I've got another story about that. back in the day, we used to go to a lot of NASCAR races. We got a track here uh, up here in the city, about 70 miles away from the house if we drive over there. And we used to go every year. 2001, we were going to get to watch Dale Earnhardt race. And then in February, at the Daytona, he died in the accident. And I wasn't sure I was going to be able to go, because I grew up with Dale Earnhardt. I built model cars of his race cars, and followed. We watched and listened. Back in the day, the races were always on the radio, and I'm an outdoorsman. I was always out fishing or hunting or something. And so on Saturdays and Sundays, we'd listen to the Winston Cup races on the radio. I'd listen to them in the deer stand. I shot one of the biggest bucks I ever shot in a deer stand listening to a NASCAR race. Well, I got to know a guy I worked with, a big NASCAR fan also. The company I worked for sponsored a NASCAR car. It was very, very cool. Rockwell, the Rockwell Chevrolet. And his father had pancreatic cancer. So they started chemo. And it just made him sick as a dog. He was so sick. Of course, pancreatic cancer is another one of those things. It's irreversible. All you can do is kind of, either slow it down, or put it into regression, or slow it down. But there's really, there's no cure for it. Nothing they can do other than, I don't know if they can transplant a pancreas. But anyway, he stopped. He told doctor no more. It made him so sick. And my buddy, he's a guitar player, played blues guitar. I'll tell you what, you talk about. He's awesome. I kind of lost track of him. I need to look him up. And he still plays, but it's kind of hard for me to, it's just hard to go out and do some of these things anymore. But anyway, we were sitting at one of the performances. He went to every one of his son's performances. He played in a lot of blues clubs, and we would go too. Anyway, his dad said, if I had it all to do over again, I wouldn't do it. He said, I understand, He said, it made me so sick. I couldn't do nothing with my grandchildren. I couldn't even come to the races. Yeah, we missed him at the races and stuff when he started that. He was just so sick. And he said if he had to do it all over again, he wouldn't do it. He would have, because his life expectancy wasn't any longer with or without it. But it's like you said, we humans, we want to live, and we take advice. And so he stopped the chemo. He got a lot better. He's able to went to several races with him. He got to spend lots of time with his grandchildren and his son. Went to lots of his performances, lots of his gigs, and we would see him. It was always great because we talked NASCAR, and they were big Dale Jarrett fans. They were all Ford guys. So we would banter back and forth about NASCAR and stuff. And I guess he lived about 5 months after the chemo. And one of the last one of the last times I saw him, and they knew it was starting to advance, and he got kind of jaundiced, and stuff. And gosh, here I've been on here an hour already, yammering. He said it was the best thing he ever did was stopping chemo, and he wished he hadn't done it because it took 6 months from him. And it didn't make any difference. So, one of the nurses asked me, have they poked me with a needle yet to check to see if these nodules, if they're malignant or anything. That's why they've been scanning me pretty regular. But they haven't metastasized. They're not growing. So thank you, Almighty. No needles in the chest. No, I'm still whole. Now nurses in there think maybe, well, this rib pain might be a gallbladder, but my blood panels don't support that, because if that was the case, there'd be some flags, high white cell counts and stuff like that. But I don't have any of that. So, but I'm losing my primary care doctor. She's leaving the practice. So they have set me up, or told me about this great practice over here across the yard from the hospital. And so I called and talked with the little receptionist gal, or whoever that is you talk to. And so I got an appointment. I got some forms I need to get filled out at my old primary care doctor to get my medical records sent over here for my appointment. So they'll be there for my appointment in April. So we start off with a new doctor on the right foot. Oh, here's Mona. I'm sorry, Mona. I just been rattling on and on. How are you doing, darling? Mona's our bug tussler. Bug tussling is the art of making people smile. And Mona is a champion bug tussler. We all want to be as good a bug tussler as Mona. And we all love Mona. We love you, Mona. Thanks for coming in and hanging out. I'm probably way behind on the chat. Heavy Man says, a lot of first-hand knowledge of doctors and family friend doctors. The amount of death from medical error are terrifying, as well as how candid and nonchalant they are about each occurrence. Well, I know. I ain't even going to go down there. Mo says you need mullein oil twice a day to fix the breathing problems. Yeah, Mona, I haven't jumped into any of that. I spoke with my doctor about these old cures. Mullein was used forever back in the day for lung congestion issues. But no, I haven't done that, Mona. There's oregano oil. There's ivermectin. Of course, I don't know whether I should have said that. I might. I'm just stating what's out there. I'm not a doctor. My respiratory doctor. She's the captain of my ship. She made it possible for me to get my eyesight back. And she referred me to this pulmonary rehab clinic. And so I haven't gone to any of these other remedies. And I've heard a lot about them. I just haven't tried them. I'm on these other meds, and you tell your doctor you want to go off them and try something else, and they get all worked up. So anyway. Uh, Mona says, I can't stay around. I just stopped in to give you a like and tell you I love you. Oh, Mona, I'm sorry I rambled right through your. I'm way behind on the chat. Mona's great. Go to Bug Tussler, and Mona's a great patriot. We all want to be like Mona. She loves her country. She's a service member. Thank you for your service, Mona. We appreciate you. Heavy Man says, I feel we'll always have more to learn with how much has been written, spoken, and rewritten as has been passed down through time. Yeah, Heavy Man, I tell you, it's an ongoing. You know, people that are theologians say they still learn something every day. Is that stats? Stats, what's going on, man? I'm way late on the chat, man. I've been sitting here rambling on, and Stats says I could not read a regular Bible. These and thous got me. There's an English Bible a friend gifted me. I read and try now. Yeah, Stats. I can't. It's so deep. I can't even hardly fathom it. I just know the Almighty's got His hand on me. He always has. And I look forward to the day where I can sit with Jesus. He opens my book up. He's going to say, "Whoa, Mobo, what was you thinking on this day?" Well, let's see. Heavy Man says, agreed. You got to be honest with yourself to stop because the desire remains. Then you can cut out the environments and the persons that might trigger that desire. Well, yeah, you want to try to limit your exposure, but like I say, all you can do is tell them your story. When they say, "Well, you want me to go outside?" And I go, "No, I got an ashtray right in here. I still got an ashtray in the house." So I say, no, I don't. The Almighty gives me the strength, and I pray for you that maybe He'll give you the strength to stop. Stats says I quit in 2018. It was hard, but I definitely don't like the smell now. At first, it was hard. Yeah, Stats. It was pretty difficult, I must admit. But I never, like say, after that prayer for my brother-in-law, and the Almighty, He took his pain away. He brought him home, and He gave me the strength. And when He does something like that for you, you don't want to disappoint. You don't want to disappoint. So, Heavy Man says, we'll be back. God bless. Have to tend to my fox. Oh, okay. Well, pet that fox. Here's a ski mask guy. Hey, ski mask guy, thanks for stopping in. I've just been rambling on. I'm way behind on the chat. It's terrible. My Christine, my rehab nurse, has to get after me because we have an allotted time in class, and I want to exercise my jaw muscles, and I'm not there to exercise my jaw muscles. Although we do like to visit the great. I'm in a class with a bunch of great human beings. I'll tell you, I pray for each and every one of them. They're just great people. Ski Mask Guy says, God bless to the people reading this. Well, thanks, Ski Mask Guy. We appreciate your blessing. Uh-oh. Looky who's here. Hey, Timo. Oh, and there's Sabine. I'm way behind on the chat, Timo. I apologize. I'm just sitting here yammering on, kind of giving a little update on my rehab, my pulmonary rehab progress. It's going on pretty good. They've helped. Of course, not getting no quantity back. The damage is done, but they're helping me with the exercise to help keep your muscles built up in your chest. I do arm exercises and leg exercises and then a bicycle, arm and leg, and that's the one that really works me over. Boy, I tell you what, I'm really sweating after I get done doing that one. And they bumped me up today to 15 minutes on my routine. I really felt that extra 2 minutes. I've been on 13 minutes for I think 2 weeks. It might be even a little longer. No, I think about three weeks, something like that. And those 2 minutes on each routine, three routines, I felt them. I'm glad to be sitting in the truck. Sabine says, hello, Mr. and Mrs. Mobo. Hello, Sabine. Hugs to you, my dear. Optimob family. Timo and Sabine, they're from Switzerland. And I sure wish I could jump on a plane and go over there and see them. This wouldn't be, the altitude wouldn't be good for me. My doctor has recommended that I don't go to altitude. It might be bad. But then again, it might not, But I wouldn't want something like that. Because I tell you, our last trip to Colorado was pretty rough. I was glad to get back down to sea level. I'm just an old flatlander. Mountains are hard on a flatlander. When we go out there, we'd have to be out there a week to acclimate before we went up and did any hiking, any deer hunting, and at least 2 or 3 days before we did any rafting, because it was that I don't do altitude. I've never done altitude very well at all. Goodness gracious, Optimob family says greetings from far away. Yeah, Switzerland. That's just a little more than a hop and a skip, ain't it, Timo? Oh, and there's Marine Army's mom. How you doing, darling? Gosh dang, I am so far behind on the chat. She says, hi, Mobo. Hi, Marine Army mom. Bless your heart. Sabine says, hello, everyone in the chat, which I'm way behind on. Sorry about that, guys. Optimom says, hi, Marine Army mom. Optimom says, hi, Stats. Sabine says, hi, Marine Army mom. Marine Army mom says, hi, Optimob family. And hi, Sabine. Optimob's sending hugs and a heart. Yes, we love you, Timo. And oh, and that great dog, Bax. Yeah, I don't want to forget to mention Bax. He's Timo and Sabine's pup. He's a great dog. We really love Bax. In fact, Bax is almost the star of the show. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't say that. Let's see. Sabine says, OMG, I just got in, Mr. Mobo. I'm sorry to hear all this. Well, Sabine, thanks for your thoughts. And I've been chasing it for many years now. It's just, we don't always make the best. We humans are our own worst enemies. We don't make the best decisions. But I'm really I'm really hooked up with some great rehab nurses that have really improved my quality of life. Now I've not gained any quantity. That that's pretty much, I got what I got, you know. Um, but my frame of mind and how I approach this has it really improved. It's made a great difference. Optimob says ivermectin helps. Well, you know, and there I said it again. You know how YouTube feels about this. I'm no medical doctor at all. I don't recommend any. I recommend your doctor. Now, and you always have the choice. If you don't like what your doctor says, then you either have a discussion with him or her, or you find another doctor. You know that. But my doctor, my pulmonary doctor, and my primary care doctor made it possible for me to get my eyesight back. Now I wear these reading glasses because if I didn't, I can't see up close. I had cataract surgery. You know, I was so short of breath that they wouldn't do the surgery without me seeing a doctor, because you know they have to sedate you, and I don't want to have something bad happen on the table. And so my pulmonary doctor, my primary care doctor, referred me to my pulmonary doctor, and I went through all the testing, pulmonary function test, and you know I was on several of the medications that they recommend for COPD, and it helps. You know, I don't have a lot of mucus production. Some of my hoarseness is medication related, but the eye medication, you know, there might be some validity to it. You know, they need to do more studies with it, but they've been using it for years. You know, it's a dewormer. That's what its label use is, but it has anti-inflammatory properties. Now that's known. That's a given, and they still use it to this day. And you do your own research on it. I've researched it, and what I find kind of comical about it is I'm on an antibiotic, and I've been on it for a year. And I always heard, you know, that you can develop antibiotic resistance. Well, my pulmonary doctor says I'm taking this antibiotic not for an infection, but for its, wait for it, anti-inflammatory properties. Off-label. I'm using an antibiotic for an off-label issue. So, you know, but I love her dearly. I was blind, and if it hadn't been for her, it's hard to say where I would be. Sabine says, yes, it's very hard. If you would like to try different medications, doctors are not happy about it if you go and change over to natural medicines. Yeah, you know, I've had that discussion, and of course it's, well, these are medicines that have been proven over decades. So she's the captain of my ship. You know, I'm waking up every day. We don't know, you know, maybe down the road, who's to say? Every day's a new day, right? Timo, Optimob family says, don't worry about the chat. We do listen to you. Oh, bless your heart, Timo. You guys are awesome. I know I haven't been in your chat for a while, but when I see a short or a video, I love driving around with you guys. You always got my thumbs up, always. Sabine says, still listening as well. Sabine says, all fine, Mr. Mobo. We don't know about this. We are so sorry to hear about it. Well, Sabine, thanks, darling, for your kind thoughts and it's just it's tough. I won't disagree, but we got our little spot there. We have our little piece of the rock, and Miss Mobo started cleaning beds. Her new knees are performing wonderfully. She always comes back from the garden now with a smile on her face. She's not in pain. She's walking. It's just the most incredible. We're both touched, with the Almighty. The Almighty He has His hands on both of us. She healed and rehabbed. It was incredible. Her doctors and her rehab techs were so impressed, and she does her exercises at home, and of course not so much now. She doesn't really, because she's always doing something, cruising around the yard or in the house or something. She's always doing something. Sabine says, or Optimob says, at the moment, I do spend more time with Bax walking around instead of filmmaking. Bax is so happy for every second I spend with him. Timo, pet that dog. Yes, it's nothing better for your soul, brother. Yeah, you and Sabine are really, really fortunate to have Bax, and of course, we only have our pets for so long. So enjoy every minute with them, for sure. Sabine says you have to be careful with antibiotics. Well, and I know, Sabine, I've had this discussion with her. She doesn't seem concerned. She's the captain of my ship. I'm eternally grateful to her for what she's done to me. For me, my eyes, I was blind, and now I can see. Not up close, so I got to have my reading glasses. We know that, Mobo, same here. We always give our thumbs up if we see a video from you two. Oh, bless your heart, Sabine. Yeah, you guys always chat, and I feel bad, I haven't, my chatting is lacking. Marine Army mom, I haven't been in her chat. I always give her thumbs up. She's, I get her notifications and I give her thumbs up, but she's a great lady, and she has lots of followers too, and they keep her real busy in the chat. She's pretty special too. Optimop family says, that's good to hear. Sabine says, that's nice to hear that Miss Mobo is doing good with her knees. Right on. Yeah, I tell you what, see her come down from the garden and smiling and no pain. Oh, I've caught up with the chat. Timo says, I will pet that dog. Bax loves Sabine, but this little Bax is my soul dog. It shows, Timo. Bax loves you. You can tell. So anyway, I told, here it is, an hour and a half, hour and 26 minutes on. I took the tripod out with me this morning. Miss Mobo says, what are you going to do with that? And I said, well, I'm going to go live and do a little rehab update, let the folks know how everything's going. I had one of my young followers message me. He's from the UAE, and they've been under attack from the evil ones over there, and he just wanted to let me know that he was doing good, they were safe, and he had messaged me and said, when are you going to go live again? It's been, I don't know, my last live 2 or 3 weeks ago, something like that. And I said, well, Theo, he messaged me in one of my shorts. I said, yes, Theo, you're right. I haven't done live for quite some time. But I've been real busy with this rehab. And so I told him, I said, well, I'll do a live for you here in a couple of days. And I did. I went live and kind of dedicated that live to Theo. Theo, you're in our prayers over there. You be safe. I know you are, because you told me you are, so I'm going to believe you. I know it's a pretty rough situation over there right now, but it's going to get a whole lot better here pretty quick. And don't listen to none of them naysayers, because there's a great man at the wheel, and he loves the world, and he loves America, and he wants it to be great again for the people. And so you just hang in there and watch your six. Listen to your leaders, and pay attention to what's going on around you. And again, all we can do is a day at a time. That's the whole deal. If you believe, you understand that. Sabine says it feels good if you have no pain. One day I will have no pain anymore too, and I'm looking forward to that day. Oh, look at all them flying hearts. Thank y'all. I appreciate them flying hearts. I guess it helps your channel for them flying hearts and stuff. And I don't got, I'm just some old long-haired country boy, hillbilly country boy, yammering away on YouTube. I'm not a big influencer or anything. Sabine says, yes, it's so nice to see you live again. We really did miss you, Mobo. That's nice that you do a live for Theo. Yeah, well, I never really thought about it, You get started doing something, and then folks is like, well, wonder what happened, what's he up to? And then when they take the time to message you on one of your shorts and to make sure you're okay and what you've been doing, tell you that leaves an impression. It kind of really surprised me. I was like, well, wow. I guess I should acknowledge that, because that's pretty cool. Timo's sending hearts. I appreciate you, Timo. We love you, brother. We love riding around in Switzerland. The mountains are just brings me back to the days I could me and Miss Mobo could go out and cruise around in the mountains, but with this COPD, it's just not safe for me. And I like I say, I have trouble, with altitude. It takes a lot of time to acclimate, days. And that was when I was young, back in the days, 30 and 40 years old. And I had trouble with altitude back then, but now it could be it could be deadly for me. So I have lots of good memories to carry along with me, though, and I get to ride around with you and Sabine and Bax in the Alps. It's just the most beautiful thing in the world. You guys are very lucky to be over there. Mom says we are old too. Yeah. Well, I got a couple of days on you, Timo, but yeah, time waits for no man or woman. It keeps them marching on. They got a great little sign in the rehab lab in there. It says, breathe, exhale, be grateful, start over. So, one breath at a time, right? That's what it's all about, one breath at a time. Sabine says, hi, Mr. Mobo, I am so-called redneck from Edmonton, Alberta, LOL. Well, I imagine if you lifted my hair up, you might see some red on my neck. I got some pretty red waves. Oh, that's funny. Sabine, you made me smile. You old redneck. Sabine's old redneck. Timo says, when the sun comes up a bit more out, we will stream from the mountains again and well, I think you fat finger and filming again. Yeah, they're getting ready to mess with our time again. Of course, Sunday it's go forward. Wish they'd leave the dang clock alone. It just drives me crazy. Sabine says, if we win the lottery, we will bring you over here to us, and we will drive with you two through the mountains. Well, that sounds like a plan. Something to look forward to. Thanks, Sabine. Sabine says, LOL. She's sending laughs like, because I called her a redneck. Oh, here we go. We got a spammer. What is it? Is that? I don't know. It's IJ or LJSY. What is that? 8004 says, say, Suey! There you go. Oh my goodness. Oh, even Timo saying it. Well, Leslie, I don't know how to say that. It says not a spammer. Leslie says, thanks, bro. You're welcome, Leslie. Oh my goodness, that's pretty funny. I'll say it again for you. Soo-wee! Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm sending hugs and love. Oh, Timo, you're awesome, dude. Me and Miss Mobo love you guys. Yes, Mr. Mobo, this will be our plan. This will give you something to looking forward to. You got Timo laughing again. Uh-oh. Now, let's see. 804, I don't even know how to say that. It says, now say meow. Oh, Timo says meow. Sabine says, hello. Legessi. I don't know how to say it. Now Legessis want me to say meow, say meow. Oh my goodness. Oh, here's D McLean. How you doing, brother? D McLean says, hi, Mobo. How are you guys doing? Well, D, we're looking forward to spring, brother. Miss Mobo's been up working on garden beds with her new knees. Weed eating up a storm. She comes back from the garden with a smile on her face now instead of a grimace. It's her new knees. It's just been incredible. Oh, let's see. I don't know how you would say that. 8004 says he's not going to let up. He says, say meow, say meow. Oh, now it's Car's name. Oh, we got a live one here, folks. We got a live one. Oh, yeah. Timo, on Saturday I was snowboarding. I seen your new snowboards. You know, that's an emergency room visit for Mobo. Sabine says, hello, D. McLean. Mom says, in the mountains. Yeah, I tell you that we really enjoyed that in the Olympics, watching those snowboarders. I tell you what, just stay out of the half pipe, Timo. Keep it on the slopes. Don't be going down the half pipe, brother. Stay out of the half pipe. Dean Clean says, we're not doing bad. I have to have knee surgery soon. Here's 8004. He ain't going to give it up. What's your car? Well, I don't drive a car. 8004. Timo says, an ER visit, and he's laughing emoji. Yeah, buddy. I'd have to sit down on the board. No standing on the snowboard. I would look kind of funny doing that. So I'd sit down there at the bottom, watch you come smoking down there and do that move, turn sideways, and throw the snow all out, and you can throw the snow on me. D. McLean says, hi, Sabine. I think we've run 8004, says, have a good day. And 8004 says, it is a BMW. Well, I drive a truck, 8004, and it's a Ram. So I'll say Ram with a Hemi in it. Oh, Sabine says, he has to stay out of the half pipe. Can you imagine him? If he is falling, it would feel like an earthquake. Wait a minute. Hey, you feed him. Oh, yeah, Timo's pretty good sized feller. He is. He's tall, and he definitely has some meat on his bones. He's just like all us other old people, though. We're a little chunky. And that's not a thing wrong with that. 8004 says sports car luxury. Yeah, Beamer's not bad there. 8004. I'll have to agree with you. That's a pretty nice ride. But you have a little trouble hauling stuff around in a BMW besides yourself. Kind of hard for you to haul a 2x4 or a sheet of plywood in your Beamer. Now, maybe if they made a Beamer truck, Sabine's laughing. She's going, yeah. D. McLean says, "Hi, team." I think he means Timo. Sabine says, "I guess I have to sleep tonight in a bathtub if I go on nagging Timo like this." Oh man. Wow. Yeah, that or or in the doghouse. Oh man, oh my goodness. Timo says, "On Saturday I was driving a red slope and was falling on my big butt. Oh, you were on the red slope. I did slide 60 to 70 feet on my butt, and when I stopped, I had a good laugh." Yeah, we could race down the slope on our butts. I'll race you on my on my instead of a snow, it'd be a snow butt board. D. McLean says, "Bruce and I are the new owners of Big D's fire truck. We hope to have it at Branson this year." Well, that's cool. Yeah, Mona talked about the kind of the little bit of changes, for the uh, honor days of honor for down there. She's been wrestling some health stuff too. So but the convoy's still on. She's got to get rid of her plants and stuff because she's having a little trouble walking. She has trouble walking on the rocks and stuff. So she's getting ready to dig her garden up and sell her plants. She has a lot of sedum and a lot of other little plants, and she's gonna try to sell them. Timo says, "I can't sleep if Sabine is not next to me." I know, Timo. I get it. So you're safe, Sabine. Sabine says, "LOL." Oh, wait a minute. Sabine says, "LOL, thank God we have no dog house. I would freeze my butt off." Yeah, it'd be a little chilly out there, I would imagine. You get a lot of snow out there. Speed says, "Cool, that sounds awesome." D. McLean says, "Mona doesn't know yet. We're trying to keep it that way for now." Well, that's cool. Be a surprise for her. That'd be very cool. Yeah, now that Miss Mobo's getting around a little better, and maybe we can make a day trip down there. It's kind of hard for us to do overnight because of you got to drag all the machines with you and all that carries on, and so Branson's a good day trip. We can go down, get down early, spend the day, and then head home. I can see to drive at night now. So Timo says, "Cool. Please upload pictures of your fire truck." Sabine says, "Are you remodeling the fire truck, D. McLean?" D. McLean says, "Be right back." Yeah, D. He's a pretty hard worker. He's probably got truck he's loading or something. But yeah, you can see that fire truck. You go back into 2022 on. You can search Trucker G. The fire truck was in a lot of the parades, the convoys of honor videos. Um, uh, but there's places you can go look. But you look back there in 2022 under Trucker G and some of the other streamers that were streaming the truck convoy, the Freedom Convoy that went back and forth across the nation. Um, they went they went out. They started in California, went out to the East Coast, uh, dealt them a fit around Washington D.C. Then they left and went the southern route back out to California to a rally out in L.A. And then they went up the coast and came back across the nation on the northern route through the Dakotas and Nebraska, I think. They came through the northern route and back out to Washington D.C. So there's a lot of video of the you'll see the fire truck in a lot of those videos. Timo says we are close to 9 o'clock and I need to rest. On 5 a.m. the night will be over and the alarm goes off. Yeah, it's early day for you, huh? Well, Timo, my brother, what a great chat. I appreciate you coming in here and you and Sabine hanging out and what a great afternoon. Here it is. We're knocking on an hour and 50 minutes. I need to probably get going too. I told Miss Mobo I was going to do a live and talk about, give you an update on the rehab, how it's progressing. Doing great. Cass Regional Medical Center has a great pulmonary rehab program. They've done wonders for me and in my mental state, how I handle this affliction that I have, and so don't worry about me. I'm in good hands. The Almighty has His hand on me, number one, and He's led me to some wonderful nurses. They love and take really good care of us, all of us in the rehab class. Dean and Dale, Arthur, Skip, and a new little lady came in today. I didn't catch her name. I was in my routine, and they'd already got after me for yakking too much, so I didn't want to get in trouble again. They keep pretty close eye on me. Timo says, we wish you a good evening and lots of greetings and hugs to Mrs. Mobo. Timo, Sabine, right back at you guys. We love our Switzerland family. Oh, and Bax too. We love Bax. And you guys are such wonderful fur baby parents. He's a lucky pup to have you guys. Sabine says, wow, that's a big trip they made. I'll have to check that out. Yeah, start out with Trucker G. There's a lot of videos they streamed every day. G was a really an influencer to help those people get back and forth across the United States. He never was in the leadership, but he was in the logistics, and him and Miss G put out lots of fires, and they didn't have a fire truck. Big D had the fire truck. You might even search Big D. But yeah, do that. You get a chance. Just look back in search Trucker G and look back into 2022. Um, that's when we were doing a lot of freedom stuff. We met up with the convoy a couple of times on their way across the state here, and uh, there was. You want to see us having fun? Check out Zip Lining with Mobo. Zip line with Mobo. And I'm pretty sure it'll pop up that if you search that zip line with Mobo. Me and Miss Mobo zip lined with a really great Patriot X-ray, and we love him. We miss him. We haven't heard from him for quite some time, and but he's always in our prayers too. Uh, Off Mob says we love always being in your stream, and I always love having you here, Timo. I want you to rest well this evening, my friend, my brother, and my sister. Um, we're family. Um, I'm glad to be part of your family, uh, the Optimob family. Um, Sabine says, but we have to go now. We go to bed. You take care, Mr. Mobo. All the best for you, and let's hope that this rehab will be a success for you. Well, Sabine, it already has been a success. Um, I'm here on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and it's been a game changer for me. It really, my quality of life has really improved. So thanks for your kind thoughts, and uh, and I'll be back with another update here. I won't be a stranger, and next time you're coming, I'll try to chat, come into the chat and give you a hug. Uh, Timo says, Sabine says, big hugs to you and to Miss Mobo, and blessings to both of you. She sends hugs and hearts and prayers. Sabine says, lots of love and prayers sent your way. Thank you, darling. Um, I will search for the spline, for the stream, Mobo. The zip line. Yeah, the zip line with Mobo. I think that's how it'll search out. That's ZIPLINE with Mobo, and it's under X-Ray. That was X-Ray's handle, his channel. So yeah, man, it was a grin. We had a great time. That was one of the last trips I took to Colorado. That was it was kind of hard on me, but we had a blast. I would have never done anything like that if it hadn't been for, yeah, that's it, zip line with Mobo. I would have never done anything like that if it hadn't been for X-Ray. He's a great motivator and a great patriot, and we really love him. I always hope maybe I would hear from him again. But if he does by chance see these streams out here, X-Ray, you're in our prayers, brother. We love you. Can't even put it into words. And we always hope good fortune follows you on your path every day. So, okay, Sabine. Love you, darling. Thanks for coming in and hanging out. You and Timo and Bax are the best. Sleep well. Sweet dreams. See you downstream. 10-4. So anyway, well, I should probably do the same thing. Got 11 thumbs up. Most everybody's took off. I'm probably sitting here talking to myself again. They scroll across and see some old long-haired, gray-bearded guy looking at him through these little old skinny glasses and say, what is going on here? So, I guess on that note, D. McLean, give Goldie a big hug. Uh, Maybe we'll see you in November. Uh, like I say, Miss Mobo's getting around really good, and I can see to drive at night safely, and so uh, that had been kind of uh, the thing that's holding us back from doing some of these things. So uh, we'll be out here streaming around. Look, and I'll look for you. I'll keep an eye out for you too, and we'll put November in the bucket. Put that on the bucket list to get back down to the convoy of honor on Veterans Day this year. So you and Bruce behave yourselves. I'm using that term loosely because I know Bruce and you. So anyway, I'm glad you got hold of that fire truck. That's kind of cool. That'd really be that'd be a great surprise to see that in the convoy of honor again this year. So, there's one watching. That's D. D's back. I was just talking about the fire truck. Glad you guys got your hands on it. Hope Big D's doing well, and him and his family. Hope they're doing well. You and Bruce. Maybe we catch up. We'll catch up with you in November, and like I say, we're both getting around a lot better than we have been here the past couple of years. So we'll put that on the bucket list to get to Branson for the convoy of honor in November, because we haven't seen Mona for quite some time either, and it'd be good to see you guys, and we wouldn't be able to stay overnight, but we come down and spend the day and hang out with you guys. Maybe do the convoy, right along in the convoy with you. I'll bring my flags, and so on that note, it's been a 2-hour stream. I'm sitting here in the parking lot at the Cass Regional Medical Center, where I attend my pulmonary rehab class. Again, it's been quite a life changer. These rehab nurses, Sarah, Abby, Christine, Bree, Gil. They're awesome, awesome nurses. They really care about us and our health, and they monitor and do their best. And they have to get after me to keep busy because I want to exercise my jaw muscles a little too much. So Bree's the enforcer. Christine sent Bree after me today. She says, you better get on that machine before Christine comes back here. You're in deep trouble. Deep doo-doo. Dee says, cool. I'll have to buy some flags for the fire truck now. Heck yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll stay in touch. We'll be doing some streaming, and Miss Mobo's she's getting around in the garden like nobody's business now, and I'm sure it'll look a lot different than it did last year. Kind of got away. I couldn't keep up with it, and she couldn't get up there because she had just had her knee surgeries, and but well, I'll tell you what, she's after it now, so it'll look a lot better this year. I'm sure we'll get it. She just finished making another batch of raspberry jam. Oh my goodness! And they're from raspberry vines that are over 100 years old. They were my grandma's raspberry vines, and they every year um, they come back and come back, and I've even transplanted some and started a new patch. So yeah, Miss Mobo made a new batch of raspberry jam yesterday. Mm-mm. Make your tongue slap your brains out. D says, that's I have 9 flags for my truck already. D says, that's awesome. I love raspberry jam. Well, D, maybe I can try to save you a jar. It'll be awful hard, though. But I think she's still got another batch of berries in the freezer because we have to freeze them because they produce. It's incredible how raspberry vines. These are old raspberry vines. They've been. I can remember as a little child helping my grandma pick raspberries off of these vines, and so they're old. They're old vines, and they just produce every year. It's incredible. And like I say, I've got a new patch started from transplants from those raspberry plants, and so we get lots of raspberries for sure. D says, I understand that. I have a hard time saving any as well. I know, brother. It's tough because that's good. Oh man, raspberry jam peanut butter sandwich. Oh my goodness, and potato chips. Yes, sir, it's mighty good. Or biscuits and eggs and biscuits with raspberry jam on it. Oh man, I'm pretty lucky. I get to eat a lot of good stuff. Miss Mobo's quite the hand for sure. She keeps me pretty well stocked up. Oh my goodness. So anyway, I probably ought to get out of here. It's probably 1 o'clock. Let me look. It might be after 1 o'clock. I don't know. Let me look. D says you're making me hungry now. Yeah, I've been sitting here through lunch. I'm getting hungry myself. Oh my goodness, it's 2 o'clock. So, all right. On that note, me and D are hungry, so we're going to go eat. D, thanks for coming in and hanging out, brother. Thanks to all the chat. It was a great chat today. Theo, my UAE brother, be safe, be aware. You're all in our prayers over there, and there's better days ahead. So, for the world, we've put a big dent in evil. We sure have. So D says, have a blessed day, my friend. See you later, brother. D, love you, man. Terry, Carol, love y'all more than you know. And I'll see y'all downstream. 10-4.